Happy New Year! You may already be in 2023 when you're watching this video, and the reason I decided to do this is to close off the year with a top 5 parachain pick for 2023, which I believe have a very high probability of success based on all the information I know about each one of these, which has been shared within the community. I just want to make it clear that by no means am I only supporting these top 5 parachains that I'm about to mention, as I'm sure each one has a good opportunity to prove themselves and come out victorious, or perhaps even survive the bear market, because they are a group of parachains that are part of a specific niche. But these are the 5 parachains that I believe have a higher than average shot at being successful based on what they've achieved throughout 2022. Remember, if something is demonstrated to have proven itself, it's one that should get the credit it deserves. I also want to specify that these parachains haven't entered into any kind of scandal with other parachains to trigger unfaithful behavior. So let's kick things off. My first pick is BitCountry Metaverse, and more exactly the BitCountry Pioneer Parachain. The BitCountry Metaverse platform have been very busy building throughout most of 2022, and while I was guilty of blaming them for taking so long to enable coin transfers, I have to say I'm amazed at the work they've put in and have delivered a working product. Not only that, but it's about to get very interesting by opening the door to social login so that users can simply log in through their Twitter account, and a wallet automatically gets created for them, which they can then use to join the metaverse. It's as simple as that. One of the other things they plan to work on is to offer people of influence the possibility to do a video presentation through a monitor in the metaverse, which followers can enter to watch. They've also created an NFT market which allows users to use NFTs within the metaverse they created for various utilities configured by the metaverse owner. Think of specific NFTs used such as passes to allow you to access certain locations or to participate to a metaverse event. However, that being said, it's not all land of milk and honey, and you can probably imagine that there are some slight risks with the coin itself in 2023. For example, the circulating supply versus the total supply ratio is quite high, around 5-1 right now, with around 20 million in circulation. Even if a lot of it is taken with a max supply of 100 million, we also have knowledge that around March of 2023 there will be a VC unlock, and considering the market conditions, it could impact us retail holders. Although we have to say VCs may decide to hold, so we can't really blame it on them either, because we don't know what's going to happen till it happens. At least that's what I hope so. Also, the fact that they should have another 2 to 3 years of funding from their investors gives me confidence that BitCountry is one of the projects that could survive this bear market. For transparency though, I am a holder of their coin and I am staking it to generate BIT and believe in the long-term vision, which is why I wanted to share both the good and the bad so that you can get an idea from an unbiased perspective and not from a Moonboy hodler's perspective. Now for my second pick, I decided to go with Centrifuge, the parachain which offers real-world utility by offering an ecosystem for structured credit, transparent, affordable, and limitless. Their mission is to tokenize real-world assets and bring them into the world of DeFi through what are known as thin lake pools, while generating passive income to those using the stablecoin DAI to support those thin lake pools and generating a CFG coin in exchange. One other thing that made me gain a lot of confidence in Centrifuge is that they recently announced that $220 million worth of real-world assets are coming into DeFi through their partnership with a giant MakerDAO and Block Tower. That alone should tell you that Centrifuge have a very good shot at surviving the bear market, and they're also delivering. Not to mention that in a recent report, Centrifuge came out as the 3rd most development active parachain. Fortunately, I wasn't able to get information on the unlock schedule, but I did look at the ratio of circulating to total supply, which I think is very important to retail investors, and to me, Centrifuge looks well positioned with just over 360 million being in circulation out of the total supply of 430 million. I'd also like to inform you that as it stands, CFG is not inflationary, but things could change through governance referendums depending if the community pushes for a staking mechanism, which if passes would then make CFG inflationary. I'd also like to say that I am a holder of CFG because I believe in their vision and what they'll be delivering. Next up, Phala Network. I may seem quite biased with this one because it's very hard to find something negative to say, which is both good and scary at the same time. As far as we're concerned, no project is 100% bulletproof, but credit has to be given where credit is due. Phala Network are offering computation for Web3. It's a privacy-enhanced, permissionless computing protocol and are a parachain on both Polkadot and Kusama. One of the most important features that they're building is Fat Contract, which is not meant to replace a smart contract but work as an addition to it and support it. Think of it as like a layer on which a smart contract can communicate with the Fat Contract. The smart contract being for Web 3 while the Fat Contract connecting Web 2 to Web 3. They're also working on what is called Phala World, which is kind of like a game that allows you to perform certain tasks such as staking within it. And here you can see how it all clicks together within their staking app. Phala offers you two methods to stake: through a stake pool, which is kind of like a collator that verifies blocks and gets rewarded, and the second method is through a vault. The vaults are in charge of ensuring they pick the best stake pools to maximize the output reward so that new joiners can be incentivized to stake with those vaults. It's also worth keeping in mind that vaults may not have as much free pools as the stake pools, and that they auto compound more often than the stake pools. This means you'll likely have more stability with a vault in terms of your ROI not dropping, but you'll have more flexibility with certain stake pools, which offer you a lot of free pools, Phala, which means you can instantly withdraw the quantity that's available in that free pool instead of waiting between 7 and 14 days as you normally have to if a vault or stake pool don't have any free pools availability. As you can see, some of the vaults offer a huge APY compared to many other parachain coins as of right now. Anything between 90% and 100% APY is possible with some vaults, which is very high. And another thing that makes me very bullish on Phala is that there are no more VC unlocks, so the private investors already got what they were allocated. While looking at CoinMarketCap, the ratio between the circulating and the total supply may not look good. It's actually fine considering that the remaining of the supply will be slowly released through block rewards to stakers of the ecosystem, so to me that's a big plus. However, Phala are in a bit of a tricky situation when it comes to staking. You can only stake on Phala Network, which is their canary network on Kusama, and they also have a parachain on Polkadot called Phala Network, and then they have the ERC20 token on Ethereum, which was the first one to be released, so they could easily get listed on Binance in 2020, which is a large exchange. To get their coin that's required to stake, you need to use KuCoin or Gate, as they support Phala Network, the canary, and not Binance. So that's proven to be a bit tricky to the average user who thinks they can get Phala on Binance and then stake. This is the question I got the most from the community, at least. Also, for transparency, I hold Phala too, and yes, I am staking it. Next up, Moonbeam has proven to be quite the powerhouse. They're an EVM platform for smart contracts to port from Ethereum over to Moonbeam. They've joined the Polkadot ecosystem, and many have done so already. Also, those who have never developed on Ethereum but learned Solidity could have easily created a smart contract and deployed to Moonbeam as a dApp, which would be a layer 2 on top of Moonbeam's layer 1. The team at Moonbeam have a lot of strong investors who have helped them with enough funding and likely with a lot of contacts to help the ecosystem grow. Moonbeam's Glimmer can be staked and offers up to 24% APR, which could be a bit less or a bit higher right now because it does fluctuate depending on how many people stake or unstake, and over 200 million Glimmer had been already staked, which is quite a lot. Also, their ecosystem is flourishing. While a lot of these dApps are unlikely to survive the bear market, they are a powerhouse when it comes to the massive amount of dApps which generate a lot of transactions when grouped together. As you can see, they range from DeFi to wallets to bridges and oracles. The team's development activity is also the second highest in the ecosystem as reported by Polkadot Insider after doing their analysis of the GitHub stats of all the parachains. One of my only concerns with Moonbeam is the big ratio between the circulating and the total supply, and the fact that they are still aggressive on locks, not only for crowd loaners but also private investors, and we're not expecting this to end till around October 2023 when things will ease off. Remember that if you think long term, there's no issue there, but if I was someone new wanting to get in, I'd consider this situation because aggressive unlocks in a bear market can be dangerous, speaking from experience. Yes, I'm also a hodler of Glimmer for transparency, but will be looking to accumulate more throughout 2023 because I really believe in what the team are building, and at the same time I'm also conscious the market won't recover very soon, so I don't want to be in a rush. Last but not least, this has to be the top 5 favorite, and ironically enough I don't hold any, but credit has to be given where the credit is due. Astar Network, the EVM and WASM smart contract platform on Polkadot and the parachain with the #1 most development activity, has made major waves in the Japanese market in 2022 soon after its launch. Astar has onboarded a number of dApps, not quite as large as a number of the ones on Moonbeam, but still pretty high, and Soda, the founder of Astar, has also made it in the Forbes of Japan and awarded the Product of the Year award for the 2nd year in a row. It's another huge leap when Astar making the news in the Japanese market, and you can only imagine what will happen in the next bull run when everyone will rush to get into crypto in Japan. Who do you think they'll hear of aside from Bitcoin and Ethereum? Astar, of course, as they're apparently even more popular than Polkadot over there due to Soda's ties to the Japanese government. With regards to to the ratio for the circulating versus the total supply, you can see that it's just under 2:1, so not a horrible ratio. I wasn't able to get an unlock schedule for VCs to get a general idea of what more could be coming in terms of unlocks, so I can't really make any calls here on that. But nevertheless, thinking long term, Astar has great potential, and I have no doubt in my mind that it won't survive the remainder of this bear market if it lasts for another 2 years or so. That's been it from today's top 5 picks of the parachains I think present the most potential. Remember that this doesn't mean there aren't others out there doing awesome work, such as Remark with the upcoming Skybridge metaverse, which aren't even a parachain, also Yuna with their AAA game launch Battle of Mogs, Parallel Finance with their awesome DeFi platform that has a lot of TVL, as well as Bifrost, a close competitor. I also want to give credit to the smaller parachain teams like Oak Network, who are working on automation solutions for the ecosystem, Polkadot for the first order book DEX, Darwinia for one of the most active communities in terms of engagement with other communities, Donny Big Bags' Moon Sama, which is on fire with all the cool upcoming launches such as the Gromlins racing card game using NFTs, Imbue Network for the fairest crowd loan and public sale system, and the list could go on. So remember, whatever you trust in and see there's development and an active engaging team, stick to your gut feeling and it will pay off. Patience is key. Thanks for watching, have a lovely and happy new year, see you in 2023.